Alright, I started to type all this out and it just became too much, so I figured a screencast would be a little easier. I'm going to show you two methods for modeling a light bulb. This first one is, it's based on the shape of the light bulb being symmetrical in one direction. It's the method you would use for something like a chair leg or a wine glass or a bowl. It's just a basic lathe spline. So first we need to draw the profile, and that's pretty simple. Just circle, rectangle, let's see, a little bit wider than that. I'm going to convert this rectangle to an editable spline. I'm going to attach it to the circle, and I'm going to trim out the pieces we don't need. Okay, we need to cut this in half, so we need an extra segment or an extra vertex here on this segment. So we grab segment, go down to divide, and divide it one time. That adds that vertex here in the center. Now we can get rid of these segments here on the other side we don't need. Vertex, there should be two vertices here, so we need to weld those together. And now that they're welded, we can fill it. And now we can, let's see, we need to get rid of this bottom segment too, because we wouldn't need it since the base would cover it. Alright, you can see that our pivot point here is directly in the center, which is good for when we do our lathe. Add a lathe modifier, and you can see immediately there's something funky going on here, and that's caused by the normals being flipped. So in the lathe modifier, just flip normals, and if you want to shell this object, welding your core is a good idea. So we'll turn that on, and that's you can control the poly count by your segments here. If you were to bump this up to 100, you're still seeing this kind of segmented shape around the sides. So what's causing that is your editable spline has interpolation settings here, and by default it's set to 6 steps. So if we bump that up to 12, you'll get a lot more segments in here. So let me show you that again with show end result on. So I'm just changing the interpolation segments or steps in that editable spline here. So 12 is probably about good. And for our lathe, we don't need 100. Let's go down to like 64 or so. Okay, so for a light bulb, that's probably one of the easier methods that you would use. It's not quads. There are triangles here at the poles, so you wouldn't want to add any sort of turbo smooth or anything over top of that, otherwise you're going to get pinching. Just use the segments on the lathe and the interpolation on your spline. Okay, so that's one method, the easier method. Now the other one, if you need pure quad low poly modeling, then this is the way to go. So let's see, you could start with a sphere. Unfortunately, that sphere has got triangles here at the top, and that's the pinching that you're seeing sometimes in your models. And you can see here, let me turn these segments down. all those triangles are not being smoothed properly by the Turbo Smooth. So actually a better method instead of a sphere is to actually use a cube. So we're going to go to Box and Cube. And let me scale this. Let's drag this out to roughly the same size. I'm going to try to get these to be about the same shape, but it probably won't be. On your box, 2 segments is pretty good to start out with. So 2 segments on the length, width, and height. And to that we're going to add a mesh smooth modifier. We're going to use quad output on the subdivision method, 1 iteration and a strength of 0.5. And that gets us pretty close to a spherical shape, but not quite. So we're going to need to add a Spherify modifier, which is here, and that'll get us closer to a round shape. Okay, now we're going to add an edit poly over top of that so that we can start changing the shape of this. First thing I'm going to do is delete some of these faces. Yeah. And let's select this border and those vertices. And problem is, well, let's go ahead and get rid of these faces too. Probably could have just grown that selection. Let's get rid of these. Now the problem is you know, this outside shape is nice and round, but this inner shape that we've created by deleting those faces is kind of squared out. So what we're going to do is relax those vertices. And so we got those selected and relax. I'm going to turn off hold boundary points because they are boundary points. So let's just kind of bring that up. The amount of 1, just bring up your iterations. Okay, now we can pull these back out to where they were. And let's see, seems about right for right now. Let's grab those edges. This, and we'll start pulling them down. And we can scale that. And maybe one more. Let's see where we're at here. Quite as far. Okay. Now we need to straighten those vertices out, so I'm just going to grab these. And I believe that's Y. Yeah, so now they're all straight. And let's just see how this smooths first before we start adding anything. Turbo smooth. Okay. So we're not quite there with the shape, but we can get there. Let's see. Scale this up a little bit. And let's go back down into edge, or actually vertex. I'm going to show cage. And it looks like this one, this set here needs to be scaled down a bit. This one, and the bottom one. We can move that up just a hair. Okay. All right. So there we've got two different methods. Oh yeah, let me add that shell modifier to this one. Shell. Okay, so we got two different methods there. One quad, one not. All right, see ya.